Another major NASCAR silly season domino has fallen as AJ Allmendinger has announced his 2024 NASCAR plans. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to the video. It has just been announced a few minutes ago that AJ Allmendinger is going to return to the NASCAR Xfinity Series on a full-time basis in 2024, driving the number 16 Xfinity Series Camaro. On top of that as well, he'll drive part-time in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2024. And in the statement this morning, his 2024 NASCAR Cup schedule, how many races he'll run, will be revealed at a later date. This is not a major shock and surprise. Have been paying attention over the course of the last few months. It's been rumored that AJ Allmendinger was likely going to be returning to the NASCAR Xfinity Series on a full-time basis in 2024. And the opportunity arose when it was announced a few weeks ago that Chandler Smith would not be returning to Kaulig Racing in 2024. We're expecting Chandler Smith to be headed over to Joe Gibbs Racing either in the 18 or the 20 car next year in 2024. It is a shame that AJ is not going to be full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2024, considering he has had a lot of success the last couple of years. On top of that as well, he did get a win earlier this year at the Charlotte Roval. But I think AJ, in all seriousness and all honesty, is going to be a lot happier of a driver competing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series than he is in the NASCAR Cup Series. Now, what are my expectations for AJ Allmendinger going into 2024? Well, I think AJ Allmendinger is going to be a legitimate championship threat and contender in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I know Kaulig's Xfinity program has not been as strong, but I think it's going to be stronger in 2024 than what we've seen in 2023. They've got Josh Williams coming in to drive the 11 car, which I think Josh Williams is overall a very solid driver, got the best out of equipment driving for DJM Racing. I think both these guys are going to gel. Both Allmendinger and Williams are going to gel very, very well. I think AJ gets a few wins. I think AJ gets around 3 to 4 wins at least in 2023-4, and also I think AJ will potentially make the Final Four as well. He might become the championship favorite, but there's a lot of good competition going into Xfinity next year. You're going to have Chandler Smith at Joe Gibbs Racing in 2024. You're going to have others like Sammy Smith moving over to Junior Motorsports next year. And it's just another massive silly season move that's happening here. Again, I really wish, like I said, that AJ Allmendinger was staying in the 16 Cup car on a full-time basis next year. But again, a big reason why it's not happening is because of sponsorship and funding. And that's the other big question going on, is what is going to happen to that number 16 Cup car? We all thought about a week or two ago that Ty Dillon more than likely was going to go full-time in the number 16 Cup car. However, it was kind of revealed in a conversation the last week or so that that 16 car will not have Ty Dillon in that car on a full-time basis. It sounds like that car is going to have multiple different drivers behind the wheel in 2024. I think AJ Allmendinger will be one of those drivers. Again, I think the 16 World car will be a part-time entry. And I think it makes a lot more sense to have multiple drivers in the 16 car than have Ty Dillon on a full-time basis. This is no disrespect to Ty Dillon. I just am not high on Ty Dillon as a driver. He's really not done much in his NASCAR career up to this point. And I think that they're making a better decision by having multiple drivers behind the wheel. Now, could Ty Dillon be there on a part-time basis? That certainly is a possibility and an option. But I look at the Cup program. If they had a Ty Dillon full-time in that car was going to finish in the lower half in the points. He struggled with Spire. I know the 77 car did not get as much support as a 7 car in 2023. But still, Ty Dillon struggled completely, and he really has kind of underachieved in his NASCAR Cup Series career and really hasn't done much up to this point. He's only won one Xfinity race, like 4 or 5 truck races in his career. In general, really has not done much up to this point in the last 10 years when he's been around. Here, a big question is, what's going to happen to that 10 All-Star car going into 2024, which I think the 10 car will probably have some announcements here in the not-so-distant future. Well, I think the 10 car for 2024, I think that car will be an all-star car once again. I think drivers, you have to look at guys like Kyle Larson who could run that car. Kyle Busch is probably going to drive that car at some point. We've seen Kyle Busch make some Xfinity starts this year in 2023. I'd imagine Kyle Busch is going to make some select starts this year. I also would imagine there might be some other drivers like Derek Kraus coming into play. Derek Kraus is working on his 2024 plans. And I also think other drivers, maybe they can get someone like a Matt DiBenedetto to come in and drive for that car. I would also imagine drivers from Trackouts, that being Ross Chastain, Daniel Suarez will drive that car. I would also imagine that Austin Dillon is a front runner potentially as well. And I also think another driver I think about is Shane Van Gisbergen. Shane Van Gisbergen has not revealed his 2024 plans, though Ty Norris said recently, I think as of yesterday or Tuesday, that basically they're hoping to announce his 2024 schedule here in the not-so-distant future. I think he'll be driving that number 10 car in 2024 in the Xfinity Series. As for the Cup car, like I said, I think you'll have multiple drivers behind the wheel. And I think there's going to be a lot of interesting things that happen to that 16 car. And it can be, we'll look at the 10 car, I respect Noah Gragson's going to go there in 2024, but that should be announced here in the coming days as well. But going back to Kaulig Racing, at least the Xfinity Series program compared to the Cup program, at least there's some optimism around. Because I've already mentioned Josh Williams, I think, is a really good driver. And AJ Allmendinger, like I said, is going to be a lot happier in the NASCAR Xfinity Series than he will be in the Cup Series next year. And this continues a lot of major movement for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. There's been a lot of crazy, silly season things that have happened up to this point. You've got AJ Allmendinger returning to the Xfinity Series next year. You've got, obviously, some other organizations making moves. You've got Sheldon Creed and Chandler Smith expect to head over to Joe Gibbs Racing next season. You've also got, of course, Haley Deegan moving up to the Xfinity Series to drive for AM Racing. There have been some rumors that Frankie Muniz was going to go to RSS Racing, but that sounds like that is not going to happen at this point. To be honest, I don't think that's happening. There's been crazy stuff that's happened, though. You've got other movement happening. Jesse Love going over to Rich Hills Racing next year, and a lot of other moves that could be happening here in the not-so-distant future. And then, of course, you've got John Hunter Nemechek, who's getting part of the Cup Series to drive for Legacy Motor Club. In general, I think that Kaulig Racing is in an okay position now. Like I said, wish AJ Allmendinger was full-time in the Cup Series, but again, Matt Kaulig does not want to pay out of pocket and just pay his own money as much as he used to, because how much the charters are at this point, it's a lot of money. Overall, I'm glad to see, though, that AJ Allmendinger is returning to the NASCAR Xfinity Series next year. I think he's going to win multiple different races next season, and I think he for sure will be a championship-threatening contender. And I think he'll probably run the Daytona 500 as well in that 16 car. Maybe they do run a third car, though I don't think Kaulig, with them announcing Allmendinger returning full-time to Xfinity, I don't think they're going to run that 13 car anymore, to be honest. I think they're going to have one full-time entry for one full driver, of course, that being Daniel Hemrick. And that 16 car, in my opinion, will likely end up being a car with multiple different drivers. But we'll see what happens going into 2024. Nonetheless, I'm glad to see that AJ Allmendinger will be returning to the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2024, though I wish he was still in the Cup Series next season. So, that is going to be today's major silly season breaking news story. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, and if I win a video, does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, as we're on Patreon as well. Links in the description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. How will you think AJ Allmendinger will perform in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2024? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. There may be more videos dropping on the channel today. If any major NASCAR news breaks throughout the rest of the day, there will be more silly season news that could end up breaking. Tomorrow on the channel, we'll have a massive recap video dropping on the channel. Saturday, I'll probably be ranking every 2024 NASCAR Cup Series track going into the season. And then on Sunday, of course, we'll have the NASCAR Xfinity Series predictions dropping on the channel. Monday, I may do an updated Daytona 500 interest, but if we do get the Noah Gragson news today, we'll probably have a Stewart-Haas Racing Team preview instead. Tuesday will probably be another NASCAR news video, and we'll have a lot of other content dropping as we get closer to Christmas, as we get closer to the start of the 2024 season. Got a lot of great content dropping on the channel that I cannot wait for you guys to check out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.